Boys, have either of you guys seen Brad?
Yeah, yeah. I saw him. He was boarding the plane back to Brussels with the Belgian squad.
Is he chilling with his boy Lukaku?
Yes.
Yeah, right next to him. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look, or semi-weekly look, sometime, some number of times throughout the week, look at the World Cup right now. Yeah, that's right. This is some weekend Red Card Radio action coming for you. This is our post group stage pre round of 16 coverage of the World Cup. As always, Joel, thank you. Hello. It's good to see you.
Hello.
Join us the whole week.
Thank,
Appreciate it.
yeah. Thank you for having me back. It's always a
Absolutely.
pleasure.
Absolutely. As you guys can see if you're on YouTube, we are missing Brad. He is I don't know, just
He did mention that the catering was pretty good. Hazard made sure there was plenty of cheeseburgers.
good. Good. I mean, that Hazard is his boy. So him and Courtois, I think, he's got a lot of memories on that Belgium team. But what we've got prepared for you guys tonight, as we're recording this, or as you guys are going to receive this, the group stages are kicking off this morning. So you're going to receive this Saturday morning. The group stages are kicking off, or excuse me, the knockout stage is kicking off. Round of 16. All of the groups are done, complete, dusted. We've got complete coverage of who advanced, who is playing who in the round of 16. We're going to take a look at who we think is, who's overachieving or who's had the best tournament so far, who we think has underachieved, the flops, as you will. We're going to take a look at our predictions from pre-World Cup. Sean's got the sheets of integrity on us there, and we're going to see how well or how poorly we did. Joel's going to make fun of us for some of our predictions because he was not involved in those. And then we're gonna look at the knockout bracket, take a look at who we think has a legitimate chance at winning. Maybe look at some of which side seems to be more difficult than the other, things like that. But before we get into all of that stuff, if you could hit us with a subscribe. If you're on YouTube, ring the sub notification bell. Drop a comment down below. If you're on one of our podcast sites, definitely hit us with a follow. If you're on Apple Podcasts, we would love a 5-star review. Do all of those things that YouTubers would normally ask you to do. Please do those things, and I'd appreciate it. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Want to give Jimmy some shout out, some props. He hit us up in the comments last week and played trivia with us. And he did, by all accounts, he did very well with the Rafa Benitez. Not surprising because I'm sure that when Jimmy really became football conscious as an American, supporting Liverpool, of course, I'm sure it was during the Rafa Benitez era, excuse me. Maybe it wasn't, Jimmy. You can correct me in the comments, but that's when I assume you started following Liverpool, and you did pretty well. So big ups, well done. Brad, of course, is not here, so we don't have any more trivia for you tonight. But definitely check back next week. We will definitely have trivia, unless Sean, you're cooking up some trivia down there.
I'm gonna cook up something so we can stop doing his because it takes too long.
Yeah, it's really great content. It's real great content when we stop talking for 30 seconds and we're just all thinking, racking our brains.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would work better if he just told us the manager ahead of time and let us think about it.
But the problem is that if you do that, then we have too much time to think about it, and I think it would be stale. We got to do things.
What's stale is the air on the podcast when we sit silent for 30 seconds. That's the stale.
Okay, you're right. You're not wrong. All right, we're gonna get into it. Let's. So instead of going through the laundry list of results that have happened since what was it? Tuesday, Monday.
When we have had, it was just pandemonium.
Yeah,
it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday morning. Yeah, okay. So rather than go through all of the results since Tuesday, we are just I'm going to pull up the groups here in a second. If you're on a podcast site, I apologize because I am going to be referencing something visual. But if you're on YouTube, you will follow along. Appreciate it. And I will try and do my best to describe it in a manner in which you can understand it via audio only. Was that? All right. Without further ado, let's do it. All right, let me get the right screen. There we go. Boom. All right. So, okay, I was scrolled wrong. Okay, there we go. Group A, as you guys can see, now that I got there. Okay, Group A finishes Netherlands on the top, Senegal in second. Both those teams progress. Qatar, no points. They scored 1 goal, -6 goal difference. It was a valiant effort. There's always 2026 Qatar. You guys can...
I don't think we'll be seeing Qatar in 2026.
You don't?
I don't, unfortunately. As much as they will try, but I don't think we'll see them.
Neither do I. I think this is kind of expected from this group, I would say.
I don't know. There's a golden generation of people that could use a Qatari citizenship, dual citizenship, if you know what I'm saying. And we can just there's Musiala's out there for everybody, or Musiala's out there for everybody, buddy.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like imagine in 2024 if he had the choice between a stacked England, a stacked Germany, and now a stacked Qatar, you know?
I don't know if there's enough players that could try and claim Qatari descent playing in like the top divisions of world football.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
They'd have to get real creative with how they're applying citizenship to Qatar.
Real creative.
Okay.
For those podcasters listening, I am getting creative with my wallet right now.
We're moving on to Group B. You can put your money away. Group B. All right. So first position, England. Second position is the USA. There we go. Iran and Wales follow in third and fourth. Honestly, from the outset, this seems like it was what I expected from this group. Expected from this group as well. I don't know about you two, Joel. Does this kind of make sense to you? This group?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if England were going to drop points against anyone, the second best team is the US. But that's what I expected, England to win it. And then I actually thought Wales would do better than they did. I think they underperformed big time.
Agreed.
Considering it was their first one in like 60 plus years. I thought they'd be a bit better than they were. But
I thought Iran. Yeah. I thought Iran was very good. I mean,
I said that when the draw happened. I said Iran are what people need to worry about. That's a very they have traditionally been a good team, and then of recent been better than that. So they're a really tough team.
And then England comes along and hits them for 6, right?
Yeah. Just starts off. So
I don't normally reference him because I don't normally find him interesting. But Goldbridge had a gem of a quote watching the game with a heavy pregnant pause in the middle of this. Says having expecting anything out of Kiefer Moore up top against us is like expecting my grand to climb Mount Everest. And an extremely pregnant pause, maybe 10 full seconds of dead air, says, and she's dead.
Yeah, I remember.
Absolute gold. Absolute gold.
Moving on to Group C. So we got Argentina in first, Poland finishing in second. Mexico narrowly misses out. And when I say narrowly misses out, if you were watching Wednesday when those games were happening, so Argentina were playing Poland. Mexico is playing...
I watched for 15 minutes with my hands on my head like this.
Mexico is playing Saudi Arabia. So Argentina are beating Poland 2-0. Mexico are beating Saudi Arabia 2-0. And so at this point, Mexico and Poland are equal on points. They're equal on goal difference. They're equal on goals for, which is the next tiebreaker. And after all of that, if you remember to 2018 and Senegal, it is the fair play table which comes into effect. Now you get points for yellow cards, points for red cards, and whoever has a lower score, lower is better on that table, moves on. So Poland had a lower coefficient for the fair play.
There was a difference of 3 yellow. Mexico had 3 more yellow cards than Poland did. That's what it was at.
At one point, Poland got a yellow card in the match, and that reduced it to 2. And so, if Poland had, so the permutations as those games were finishing was, if Mexico score again, they're through. If Poland score again, they're basically through. Saudi Arabia did ultimately score against Mexico, but it really didn't change the calculus at all. Because had Mexico found a third goal, they would have then gone equal on goal difference again with Poland, but they would have had scored more goals throughout the tournament, so they would have progressed on goals for. So the Saudi Arabian goal was actually immaterial, and to a large degree. So it was just, we were the four of us, and the three of us and Brad. So the four of us were chatting back and forth, and while this was happening, it was
Doing
just,
math, checking.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was nuts.
it was
that day.
exciting. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the Argentina-Poland game, Wojciech Szczesny had the game of his life in the first half. Like
He did, yeah.
7 or 8 saves, something like that. It was,
Penalty as well.
yeah. We could talk about penalties that happened this week. That was not the worst penalty that happened in round 3, but it was a bad one in my opinion.
I saw the video of it. I thought Messi struck it fine. It was right up against the post, about halfway up. Szczesny just got to it.
No, it was middle of the goal, man. You should watch it again. It was not very far to the left of Szczesny. It was very savable.
He's hit better penalties before.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't one of his
absolutely.
best.
That was yeah. So that left something to be
Probably
desired.
shouldn't have been a penalty in the first place.
Oh
either.
yes, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, it was definitely one of those ball doesn't lie situations. Ball don't lie.
Uh-huh.
Group D, France finishes first on 6 points. Australia finishes second on 6 points. So France changed the entire 11, and they lost to Tunisia, and then Australia beats Denmark 1-0. Australia, well done, congratulations. Denmark, that was an interesting tournament for Denmark. Maybe we'll get into them. Group E, now standout performance here, Japan. Japan win the group, 6 points. They beat Spain on the final day, the final match day for them. Absolutely fantastic. Spain do end up finishing second. Germany are in third on 4 points, and Costa Rica are in fourth on 3 points. Now this,
Who checked out this group and thought, yeah, Japan can beat Germany and Spain. Yeah, no problem.
well, here's a better thought. Like, you look at that group and you say, okay, the first day Japan beat Germany, and you're like, okay, that might be a shock result. And then they lose to Costa Rica, and you're like, okay, that's coming back to the median. And you're like, okay, the two big boys will get this done. But then Japan just wouldn't go away. Like, they beat Spain with 17% possession.
I think it was the lowest percentage ever, yeah.
Ever in a World Cup match. Absolutely phenomenal.
Did you see your guys, Tomiyasu's quote on defending Alba, and I forget who else was on the right, I guess, for Spain? Yeah. His quote was, well, I play in the Premier League, so I do that stuff day in and day out, so I wasn't that intimidated. He pulled the farmer card. He was like, well, I play in a real league, so I do that every day. It doesn't intimidate me.
I love Tomiyasu. He is such a character. He's so
And in
good.
this group,
He pulled the Farmers League card.
let's not forget the 3 minutes we had towards the end, where both Germany and Spain were going out. Those 3
What a
minutes
great
were
3 minutes it
magical.
was.
Yeah,
Magical.
there was a situation where Costa Rica was beating Germany, and had that result held, Costa Rica would have gone to 6 points, and Japan would have been on 6 points. And Costa Rica with a negative 6 or 7 goal difference would have gone there.
So a funny anecdote on that. I'm watching, clearly just keeping up on a browser at work. So I'm just simply keeping up with it. I can't stream it or anything. Costa Rica scored to go up. At that point of the day, I have to go to the back to check something that's going on the truck the next day. I just got to verify, make sure it's ready to go. It's all in its right spot. Takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Costa Rica score. This begins our 3 minutes of joy. I go to the back and come back, and Germany had scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
I just did one thing at work.
I think I was out with my son at his piano lesson while most of that was happening. We got home and I could watch the end of it, but it was quite the text chain that we had, the four of us had. Group F was the group of Belgium, the golden generation of Belgium, but Morocco win that group. Croatia finished second, Belgium finished third, and Canada also finish last, not picking up a single point, losing all three. Maybe just they're gearing up for 2026. They've already qualified, so this was a warm-up tournament for them. It didn't go the way they wanted. But what can we say about Group F?
Morocco, man.
Yeah, right?
I'm just glad that Brad's not here to tell me why Ziyech is the best Moroccan player when it's, well, first of all, it's clearly Hakimi, who's the best all-around player on the team. He does everything from a defensive position. He does everything on the team. And then his argument was Hakimi's scared of the Premier League. When Ziyech doesn't even play for Chelsea. He just rides the bench.
Yeah, I don't know. Brad is going to stand for any Chelsea player. Who, regardless, it's like every Chelsea player Brad thinks is the best, and then Eden Hazard is like the next best in the Brad power ranking. Mason Mount is the best, and then it's like, I don't know, Chilwell, Reece James, Thiago Silva, Mendy, Kepa, Aubameyang. He's keen on everybody.
Feel well for the 5 minutes that he's not injured every season.
Right? Yeah. What a guy. But yeah, so big ups to Morocco. Croatia, I think, did what I expected Croatia to do. I expected Croatia to finish second in this group.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect Belgium to finish third. That was
no.
That was a shock to me. I think if we're talking about flops, we might be revisiting Belgium here in a little bit. Group G, Brazil won this group. Switzerland finished second. Cameroon are in fourth, and Serbia finish last.
Shout out to Alexi Lawless.
Okay, context.
Context is Alexi Lawless in his official Fox bracket selected Serbia to lose in the final to Brazil. Serbia. Final. The final.
Yeah, no,
I wonder honestly, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try to pull up the flags. I wonder honestly if he thought he was selecting Croatia's flag.
It's possible. They're very similar.
Do we think that Alexi Lawless, in clicking these pictures, thought he had a Brazil-Croatia final when he actually had a Brazil-Serbia final?
It's very possible. They are very similar. The Blues are slightly different, and they're different positions, but
yes,
he can't be that stupid. Surely he's a TV presenter. He was a player, wasn't he? He played.
Yeah. This is a rock in the hard place of stupid. There's the rock that's Serbia in the final, or the hard place that is he thought he was selecting Croatia.
Either way, it's stupid.
I don't know. I don't think picking Croatia is really that erroneous or egregious.
To go to the final? I don't think so. They were in the Euro final. Well, two
World
ago.
Cup final.
They were in the World Cup final. They lost to France.
Final.
And didn't they do well in the last Euros? Weren't they like in the semifinals?
No, Denmark were.
Oh, Denmark. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Denmark, Italia. England.
It was Denmark versus England and Spain versus Italy. They were the two semifinals.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so I think, in my opinion, I think Group G was expected. So,
yeah, no shocks.
Final group, that's the group of Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay, and Ghana. Portugal and South Korea, they're the teams that progress. I think we would have all picked Portugal. I think it was a toss-up with most of us between Uruguay and Ghana for that second position.
Yeah.
I think most of us wrote South Korea off.
Yeah, I had Uruguay. I didn't see South Korea getting through. I thought Uruguay had too much up top.
As much as I love Sun, I thought they were the fighting Suns, and you're going to need more than one good player at the World Cup, so I didn't see this coming.
Interestingly enough, did Sun score for South Korea?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the assist that drew 6 defenders for him to find a pass, but
which is important.
That very important. There were 6 defenders around him when he made that final pass.
So, I mean, looking at this, yeah, I think South Korea definitely well done.
Sean Stradamus needs to make an important correction
Okay, is it about
or an admission of guilt.
okay?
I had Uruguay winning the final.
Oof, that's not good.
That's about as good as having Serbia finish in second.
Yeah, just about. Just about.
Both pretty bad takes.
Pretty bad. When you look at Uruguay on paper, that is a very good team. They have an adequate goalkeeper,
All right, so
a defensive stalwart. They have Diego Godin. They have Jimenez. They have
I mean,
Bentancur right in front of them.
Diego
Well,
Godin's probably a grandfather by now.
No, he's like 35, and so is Jimenez. That they have, yes, they have an older defense. It's still a very vocal leader in the locker room, leader on the field.
but you think about this.
And then Bentancur right in front of them to keep them clean. And then they have Valverde, they have Cavani, they have Suarez, they have Nunez. On paper, this is a very good team.
How many goals did Uruguay score in this World Cup? Do you guys know?
Probably like 3. It wasn't
2.
a lot, too.
They scored 2 goals.
No, today.
Yes, not good enough. You got to score goals. Now, granted, the USA went through scoring like 2 goals as well, something like that. So, but different circumstances. I think we should quickly address our picks, Sean.
Yeah.
We got Group A correct.
All right.
We got Group A correct, right?
Yes, we did.
Group B we got correct.
Yep.
Group C we got correct.
No, we did not. We had Denmark.
What group Denmark's in Group D.
Okay.
So Group B was England USA. We had them both going through.
Yeah.
And then Group C was Argentina Poland. We had both Argentina and Poland going through.
Yeah.
I think we put them in the right. I think so far all of our positions were also accurate.
That would be correct. This is our first wrong.
Group D we had Denmark going through, and I think everyone did, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So
here's where things go south.
Yeah. So Group E we had Spain winning, I'm sure, and Germany finishing second is what I think we selected.
Yeah, we have Spain, Belgium as the round of 16 with Belgium winning.
Okay, so then we picked Germany to win that group. So we picked Germany to win the group and Spain to finish second. So we got Spain right. We got Spain in the right position. We got Germany and Japan wrong. So I don't think that's that egregious. Group F, we had Belgium going through. We had Belgium winning that group.
Yeah.
Also had Croatia going through. So we had Croatia in the right spot. Just
Croatia in the right spot. Yeah.
Commit. We ask for your forgiveness, Morocco and Japan. We are very sorry. Please don't delist us in those countries. Group G, we got correct. I'm sure we had Brazil winning the group and Switzerland finishing second. And then Group H, we had Portugal and Uruguay. Though I think we had...
Yeah, we did. Uruguay winning the group.
Yeah, we had Uruguay winning the group and Portugal finishing second. So we inverted those two, but we got the right teams.
No, we didn't. Uruguay did not.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I ask for your forgiveness, South Korea as well. I apologize.
Not North Korea.
Not North Korea. No.
We also asked for forgiveness in the next round as well, because in that particular quarter of the group, in that quarterfinals, we had Belgium, Uruguay with Uruguay winning. We have 2 eliminated teams in the quarterfinals on that portion of the graph.
I will say, I think I pushed back on you and Brad about Uruguay beating Switzerland. I think I wanted to pick Switzerland, and you guys overruled me. So that's James's caveat. I also, in my own personal bracket, have Switzerland in the final. So,
you have Switzerland, United States.
I do. I have Switzerland and the United States in the final in my bracket.
That may be worse than Alexi Lalas.
No.
That is worse.
Granit Xhaka is a man, and he's going to carry his team.
At least Alexi Lalas have Brazil in the final.
Nah, USA's smacking Brazil in the semifinal. Get out of here.
Yeah, the bracket was not kind to us. I mean, not that you get handed a final path by any stretch of the means. You're going to have to beat. You're going to have to win 3 tough games to make it there, no matter what. At this point, we have to go Netherlands, Argentina, Brazil, England, France to win.
Switzerland, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's Switzerland or beating England or the beating France.
Both. Well, it can't be both actually. So
Also, now that I'm looking at this group, something must be wrong. And okay, there's France. I see them now.
yeah. So before we dig into the bracket, we will show you bracket here in just a few minutes. Who's the biggest flop of this tournament? Who do you think? We'll start with you, Joel, as our guest. We'll give you the floor first. Which team do you think underperformed the most?
Because I dislike them the most, Germany. Because
Okay.
I mean, if you look at that group, right, you got two of the best historically and probably still currently best teams in the world, Spain and Germany, and you got Japan and Costa Rica. There's no excuse for Germany not to get out of that group. Nothing.
I agree.
World champions 2014. They didn't even get out the group 2018. This was redemption year for them, and they bottled it. So Germany.
Apparently, and I think I remember reading about this 6 months ago, but apparently Amazon had been recording the German World Cup run, that they're doing an all or nothing season on Germany's World Cup. So
they sure know how to pick them, don't they? They sure know how to pick them, don't they?
They need to ask one of these other teams if they can quickly get some knockout. Yeah, well, no, like ask one of the teams in the knockout rounds, like, hey, can we come record you guys now?
Yeah, that's my team and my flop player. I think the obvious one is Lukaku, but I'm also going to say Darwin Núñez.
I was wondering.
No goals.
I was wondering about Darwin Núñez today because he has not gotten off to a great start at Liverpool. No. Now, I think it's fair to give players 6 months, a year before really settling into a team and really like kicking on and being at their highest level for their new team. And especially, he was playing in Portugal and then coming to live in Liverpool. That's it's a big difference. And South Americans sometimes struggle to adapt to life in England. That is the nature of it. And so whether or not he is adapting well to life in Liverpool, but then coupled on top of that, this kind of dreadful World Cup he had. I don't think I'm not prepared to be like, oh, he's a bust. But it does make me wonder whether or not he is that guy, the guy that Liverpool hopes he is, the guy that Liverpool was willing to spend £100 million on.
Yeah, I mean, Uruguay have had Cavani and Suarez, two of the best strikers of the past generation, but they're both mid to late 30s. Or, I mean, if they're not, they must be mid 30s.
Yeah.
And Núñez is early mid 20s. He's in the prime.
Yeah.
He should be
leading that line.
This was his time. This was his time to show the world that he is that £100 million man.
Yeah.
But he just didn't offer nothing.
Yeah. Sean?
So he's my flop.
Who do you have as the flop of the tournament for you?
I wanted to go outside the box so bad, but it is hard to look over Belgium. It's really hard to overlook that. You got to make it out of that group. With the talent, just the raw talent on the field. You should make it out of any group. It shouldn't matter who's in that particular group. You should make it out of any group.
Yeah. They were I don't even know what the word. They looked uninterested for almost the entire tournament. And I know that there were some reports after the second game that there's tension in the locker room, that some of the players don't speak with each other. But they just didn't look like a team that was really interested in even being there, like playing football together.
I mean, this golden generation of Belgium was I think that's gone. I think that was 4 years ago. I mean, De Bruyne's 31, Lukaku's 30-something. I mean, they're getting on. They're past their peak.
I agree with you, but
in terms of age.
So when I was watching the Belgium game against Croatia, like De Bruyne, he's playing. He's the exact same player playing for Belgium as he is for Manchester City. Like, he was making passes inch perfect, 20 or 30 yards, leading a player, and Mertens just puts it into the 15th row. And so like but I look at this Belgium team and I'm like, okay, Lukaku can't get on the field. Now Lukaku's overcoming an injury, so maybe I'll give him a little pass. But Hazard,
Hazard is he's not being.
But that's my point. Is that like then why are you bringing him? Right.
Yeah.
So why do you bring Eden Hazard if he's not going to see the pitch? Like they needed a goal in the second half. They bring Lukaku on, which makes perfect sense. And Lukaku put himself into great positions to score goals, and he just fluffed all of them.
Almost too perfect, yeah.
But you don't bring Eden Hazard on until like the 80th minute or something like that. That to me was madness. Like how one of the best players of the last 10 years for Belgium specifically, but also in club football, can't. I mean, granted, not over the last 3 years, but like he can't find time when he's needed. So that was weird to me.
It does bring in a fair criticism over not a short career for Kevin De Bruyne that he doesn't have the ability to take over a game himself. He doesn't have that. This isn't a fair comparison, but he doesn't have that Maradona, Messi. They don't play the same position, so that's a little difficult.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that ability to be like, F it, I'll do it myself and go do it. Because I don't think that's not the player he is.
Yeah, he's a
first of all,
facilitator.
but he doesn't have that of like, okay, I've got to do this on my own.
Yeah. His issue is that he's a passer, he's a facilitator. He's reliant on other people to finish.
He can shoot.
Certainly, I'm not trying to say that he can't.
Yeah.
But like his primary role on a pitch is to set players up, make the right pass, and have Lukaku score a goal. And I think if I look at any of the players that have been let down the most by the players around him, it's Kevin De Bruyne is up there because he's the same player. Like he's just as good for Belgium as he is for Manchester City. I
think my only grounds for that criticism is that he can do. I've seen him dribble past people. I've seen him take shots. I've seen him create on his own before. He just chooses not to. I'm not trying to bury the guy. I'm just saying that's just not how he plays. Take over a game and go win it. When that's exactly what Belgium needed.
Yeah, I think
they needed him to just take over the game.
I think it's easier to say that when you look at him in club football because, like, say for Manchester,
he doesn't do it there either in big games.
But
he just keeps doing his job.
Okay, then you say that you've seen him dribble past people and create and take over games and like you've clearly
not take over games. I'm saying I've seen him do those parts individually. I've seen him dribble past people, and then period. I've seen him take phenomenal shots.
I got you.
I've never seen him do all of them together.
Got it.
So I know he can do all of those things. I've seen it.
So is he your flop player, or did you not single a single player?
That would be completely my biggest flop is not a player. It's Berhalter.
Oh, okay.
That's outside the box. Berhalter's been awful. We got results in spite of Berhalter, and I'm sick of him. Why does he got a second G anyway? The second G is there because he needs to go. Fire him now.
He just got you out the group stage.
I don't care.
Statistically,
so did Bruce Arena. You want to bring him back?
I don't care. It's not my country.
Okay,
but
he's awful. What beef does he have with our? I have said to you guys multiple times that visually watching them, the most raw talent out of any American I've ever seen is between Gio Reyna and Aronson. Raw talent. Just watching them, they pop off the screen. They may not be a complete player yet, but you can't tell me that Gio Reyna is good enough for 10 minutes in 3 games.
I think Berhalter did address that specifically, I think, today in his press conference. He said, like, look, if you look at the situations where he came off the bench or didn't come off the bench, there were obvious reasons as to why he did, like, in the Wales game, they were trying to hold on to a lead. In the Iran game, they were trying to hold on to a lead. But against England, they were looking for a goal. And so he brought them on when he was looking for a goal. And that the circumstances of the match predicated his...
He's lying.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say that without backup. He's lying because in the Wales game he brought on Haji Wright. So why are you bringing on a striker if you're trying to be defensive?
Yo, Haji
So
Wright.
shut up with that mess.
Haji Wright against Iran had one of the most egregious situations.
All I'm pointing out. I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
in the 99th.
Taking
Yes.
a shot in the 99th minute when you have the corner flag
Oh
available
my
to you.
God.
I was
Yeah.
fuming.
No, I was
Kill the
simply
game.
pushing back on the point of it's situational. So we brought on a striker against Wales, not a defender. No, it's absolutely ridiculous to keep him on the bench, and he for whatever reason doesn't start Aronson when every time he's brought him on twice or all three times, and he is a spark plug immediately when he comes on.
But you need that sometimes. You need a super
Or
sub.
that's fair. That's fair. That is very
So-
fair. So use them. God dang it,
So
Gregory.
Sean, are you not too confident for tomorrow then?
No, we're winning. In spite of them.
All right.
Okay, got it.
So my biggest flop, I think it comes down to those two teams and another team. I think Denmark had a absolutely abysmal tournament.
Good.
I mean, they had a tumultuous Euros, obviously with the Christian Eriksen situation, but coming out of that and the way that they rallied around their team, like you would think that this team has a really strong nucleus that can overcome adversity, and they were woeful. They
Pretty
just
bad.
didn't do anything. And so they scored 1 goal. They conceded 3.
Didn't win a game.
Didn't win a game. Now, granted, yeah, they're playing in a group with France, but they're playing in Australia and Tunisia are the other teams in that group. I really expected them to get out of that group. Yeah, like you expect to lose to France. Sure, I'll give you that. But I'm expecting Denmark to beat Australia and to beat Tunisia. And maybe that's
6 points.
maybe that's folly on my part, but maybe I'm discounting Tunisia. But I don't think I am.
No, that's fair. I think we all have good shouts there with Belgium,
Yeah.
Denmark, and Germany. All fair.
Quickly, who's been your standout team, Joel? Who's been the team that you've been excited about the most, or
Australia.
Australia for you?
Yeah.
Sean, what about you?
Standout team's got to, for me, it's got to be Japan because they haven't even been playing Tomiyasu really. What I would consider their best player, maybe that's ignorance on my part, but I would have considered Tomiyasu the best Japanese player, and they barely been using him. I don't know if that's due to injury or what it's for. It's injury, okay.
Yeah.
So they're limiting his minutes and still getting results.
Yeah.
Okay? Question mark.
Standout for me was also Japan. I've been really impressed by them. I'm a little sad that we won't be able to see a USA Japan final. So we'll have to settle for a USA Japan semifinal, maybe. Yeah, USA Japan semifinal. That's the play. All right, let's quickly go over these brackets. I've got there we go. I got the bracket pulled up here again. If you're on YouTube, you can see. So kicking off tomorrow morning, we've got the Netherlands and the USA at 10 a.m. and then followed at 2 p.m. Eastern. Of course, all the times are Eastern because that's where I am. Argentina and Australia. So that's the, I don't know, like I think it's the top right of the bracket if you have it spread out in front of you. That's not how Google is displaying it, but it doesn't matter.
It's the top left.
Is the top okay?
No,
on that
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's on one side.
Yeah, on that same side of the bracket, but these games are on Monday, so there's going to be games in between these. We got Japan and Croatia and Brazil, South Korea. So that makes up one side of the tournament. Now going to the other side of the tournament on Sunday. So Sunday we've got France and Poland, England and Senegal, and then on Tuesday we've got Morocco playing Spain and Portugal playing Switzerland. I just realized this. The Morocco-Spain game is interesting because they're neighbors essentially.
Very close.
They could someone could punt a football across the straits there probably and land it on the other side.
Another good remark I saw on this World Cup as a whole was that if this World Cup has taught us anything, is that FIFA should scrap the random group situation and specifically design groups to if countries have gone to war with another country in a group, and just put them in a group together so we can watch these games.
So the kind of the issue with the 2026 World Cup is there's been rumors that they're doing 16 groups of 3 instead of 12 groups of 4.
No, we need match day 3, FIFA. We
think-
need match day 3. This week was crazy.
I think FIFA is apparently revising that plan because this World Cup has been like the round 3, the simultaneous games has been phenomenal. So
And they'll probably end up changing it to 12 groups of 4.
6 groups of 3 seem very strange to me.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't change that to 12 groups of 4.
Yeah, it seems really strange. So,
yeah.
Okay, so if I've zoomed out here. If you're on YouTube, I've got the whole bracket set up. It's kind of, you can't really see the clear demarcation. Maybe you can. Maybe you're smart. I'm not sure. But who do we think has maybe a really legitimate path to winning it? I mean, there's pitfalls and like there's not one side that's specifically easier than the other. There's not one side of the bracket that's harder.
I think on as I'm seeing it, the left side.
Okay, so that's the Netherlands, USA, Argentina.
USA side, yeah. I think if we're being realistic, that's an Argentina-Brazil semi-final. Should be.
I think I agree. Like I think if we're looking at just raw power, I think those are the two most powerful teams on that side.
I think Argentina beats US or Netherlands, and I think Brazil beats Japan or Croatia and South Korea. I think that's the stargazing semi-final everyone wants.
Now, I think that could be interesting because Croatia tends to be a pretty difficult team to break down. And I think we've definitely seen from Japan that they're a team that never go away. So I don't think Brazil will have an easy game against either one of those teams. I think Argentina probably have an easier path to the semifinal than Brazil do. I think we have to answer this question. Sean, you think the USA is beating the Netherlands, right?
I've had a week to talk myself into it. Yes, I think the key clearly is going to be that Tyler Adams has to man mark and shut down Gakpo, and if that happens, if we're able to do that, it frees us to be able to play legit. If we can't control Gakpo, then we're gonna lose because it doesn't seem like it doesn't. I don't see many other threats on their team that are that scary. But he's had a really great tournament so far. Yeah. So that's going to be the question mark. But I think the easy path, and this is thinking outside the box. The easy path is the France-England winner, because you essentially have a pass to the final.
So let's turn our attention to the right side of the bracket, or the bottom half if you're on Google with me. So when you look at that top half of that bracket specifically, you've got France against Poland, England against Senegal. The winner of those two matches have to play each other in the quarterfinal. We're setting up for a France-England quarterfinal.
That should be the final.
Neither one of those teams want to go out in the quarterfinal.
That would be some game.
Yeah. And then Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland. I think, and you guys clowned me earlier for my Switzerland pick. I think Switzerland has a legitimate chance to beat Portugal. I hope
you're right.
I have not been impressed by this Portugal team.
Statistically, they've been they've looked good when they've played, but statistically, they're not. Ronaldo statistically had a pretty bad group stage. He got one goal, which was a penalty. I'm not convinced. He's got Pepe at the back, 39 years old.
Yeah, they're now like they have players that can produce for them. João Felix, Rafael Leao, they're
not even
players.
Using Leao.
I know
he's been mostly on the bench, which is just odd.
Super sub, man.
And honestly, if you look at it as a whole, this has not been the tournament for trust your old guard. Like you should be able to read the room and be like, Leao's got to play over Ronaldo, and that's a tough decision, and that's a fireable decision. If you do that and it goes bad, you're fired.
Yo, I would
If you
like
bench Ronaldo for Leao,
I'd like to see the Piers
but
Morgan interview after that. If
like like, and I'm not saying that because of the United States being the youngest team, but you look around and Brazil have embraced their young Spain, they're young, like I said,
Brazil, who
like they're what's that?
you know they included Danny Alves in their group.
Well, that's
Thiago Silva.
that's for locker. Those are for locker room, no knuckleheads.
Okay, but you can't.
Stuff. But you guys know what I'm saying. They're embracing
Yes.
they're embracing the young squad. Spain are doing the same. England are doing the same. France have relatively done the same. They're not just trusting old. I mean, they've got Giroud rolling. You still got your old people.
Griezmann and Giroud up top.
France are so injured. That's the issue. You look at this French team, and then you have to think about the fact that they're missing Conte, they're missing Pogba.
Yeah.
Who else are they missing? There's like 4 or 5 big name players that are injured for France, who were part of the World Cup winning team or that are just injured right now and can't play. That's.
But and then you look at Uruguay, who were throwing Cavani and Suarez out there up top, and
Yeah.
You can't really say that about Germany. I mean, they had a fair. They're not old.
No.
Mule, not like Uruguay is, but you look around at the Belgium is another good example of just trusting the old names and hoping it works. It just doesn't seem to be working this World Cup, and it seems to be trusting the youngsters is the way to go.
But sometimes, I mean, you have to play your best players, and I think in Belgium's situation, they played their best players. You look at Denmark.
Yeah.
Denmark played their best players.
Yeah.
They just weren't good enough. And I think that's sometimes, it's okay sometimes to say we played our best players and we weren't good enough. But in some of those big dog situations, especially the 3 that we pulled up and we talked about as underperforming, that to me was more of a mental readiness, mental toughness, like willingness to go out there and fight situation. It wasn't necessarily that like they were worse footballers than the other team. I think they just didn't. They maybe expected it to be, especially with like Germany and Belgium. I think they just expected it to be easier, and when it wasn't, they weren't mentally prepared for a dogfight.
If that Portugal manager has balls, Ronaldo's on the bench. Leao's starting against Switzerland.
I don't know, but I disagree with you only because Leao is a super sub in every sense of the word. Is that he has the ability to impact a game in a moment. Now, Ronaldo, I don't think Ronaldo can do that off the bench for you. I think we've seen this at United this year, that bringing Ronaldo off the bench, he's just ineffective. Like, he just doesn't do anything. In the same way that he does, like, Ronaldo probably should just not be playing, generally speaking, but he's there, so he's going to play. So he just doesn't do much right now. And I hope he goes to Saudi Arabia and collects his enormous bag from the Saudi Arabians, like $200 million a year. I hope he does it. Because that's unfortunately where I kind of see his footballing career is at this point. I think it's a good. I don't disagree with you, Sean, that about the England-France winner having the most straightforward path to the final.
I think Spain look really good, though. I'm not.
I think Spain look vulnerable. I think
it'll be a hard game.
I think if you play physically against Spain, I think that's where they suck. They struggle. So like put Bellingham out there, put Declan out there. They're gonna go into some tackles. I mean, like, I think that you have, like, when you have kind of slower center backs in Maguire, and I don't rate Stones to be a particularly pacey center back. I think that they are rife for maybe being picked off by Spain. But I just get physical with Spain and really just kind of try and impose yourself. And I don't know. I think
you muddy the game against Spain, and you're through that easy.
I mean, but to be fair, what if Morocco could do a job against Spain? So let's not discount. Let's not put Spain into the quarterfinal yet, because I think Morocco could do a job against them.
I don't think we should put anyone in the quarterfinal yet. We've been shocked so many times
Well,
already.
I
Who
mean,
knows what could happen?
Yeah, true.
USA, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
actually,
There.
I think the Netherlands are beating the USA personally. Just
You
that
do?
out. I do. Yeah, I don't think we. I've been unimpressed by the US when we've had leads in second halves of games. Wales, Iran, we were very, very poor in the second halves of those matches, and I don't think we have the acumen yet to really succeed in this setting. I think it will be a really useful game. The but I'll be shocked if we win. I'll be very shocked. I hope we win, but I'll be shocked.
I'm actually back in the US. I think they'll win. I think it'll go to extra time. I think it will be a cagey game, and US are going to win it.
I'll take it. I'll take a Matt Turner penalty shootout glory.
But then they're getting battered by Argentina.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Not that Gold Cup fraud, or the Copa America fraud down there in Patagonia. Not on my watch.
All right, we've been a little bit longer than I anticipated, so commiserations if you've stuck with us for the last 51 minutes. But if you're that's all we had. I think probably looking at the timeline of the World Cup, all of the round of 16s finish on Tuesday, so we'll probably have another episode for you maybe middle of next week, Wednesday or something like that. But if you are still listening and you haven't done those things I asked you to at the beginning, subscribe, sub notification bell, follows, 5 stars, all those things. If you could do those now, those things really do help us out. Share this with a friend, someone who's been watching the World Cup with, maybe your mother. You've been watching it with your mom. Your mom could use some good World Cup content. And to be honest, we're pretty good looking men, so your mom might enjoy the eye candy aspect of it. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. But hit us up. Leave us a comment down below in the YouTube comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. We do like to talk about your comments. Leave us something, and we'll get into it next week. Joel, thank you for saving us this week, and it's been great having you on. We'll have to get back together here maybe before the Premier League kicks back up, and we can get your thoughts on Newcastle.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be in England for Boxing Day. I'm trying to get a ticket for that Leicester Newcastle game. I'll be like 20 minutes away from Leicester.
Oh my goodness! Oh, we need to definitely get a live look in while Joel's in.
I'll try my best to get a ticket, but it's pretty hard these days.
At the King Power, huh?
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I'd love to hear. That sounds awesome. So enjoy your travels. Safe travels. Is it the whole family?
Yeah, our son's first time over the pond, so
wow.
it'll be good fun.
Sounds awesome. Sean, I'll see you soon, probably.
Yeah,
something like
maybe.
That. But until next time, until we meet again, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it, and we will see you all later.